Fucking A&E, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, that's a good story.
This is the big story of the day as we look at all our TVs, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Duck Dynasty is whether you like it or not, no one in this room really watches. It's massive for A&E. I mean, massive.
Cable. Yeah, 11 million views for the season premiere.
Yeah. Crazy.
I thought it was even higher than that, actually, I heard.
No, 11.1.
All right, but 11 million is ridiculous for a TV show these days. These guys are on fire.
Yeah.
And it's the old man was suspended indefinitely.
Well, not the old man, like the father.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a guy that's even older. You're right.
Yeah. Cy.
He was suspended because he spoke out against the gay.
But he didn't even speak out against the gay.
No.
They asked him a question.
Did they ask him, or was he
on
just
GQ?
Okay.
He said...
Or in GQ, I should say. But I say on GQ because I read my magazines online now.
Oh, it's the future.
So I say on GQ.
Crazy.
One of those future houses.
It's Phil Robertson.
Phil?
I believe most people in this room were like pro-gay, but with that said, there's a lot of fucking people that have a tough time accepting the gay.
A lot of
people. And if you
people.
say you don't accept the gay, they're now crucifying you.
Exactly.
That's in America.
People, very religious people, will never accept gays because their religion makes them say, no, I don't accept the gay.
They truly believe that the Bible is against the gay.
That their God doesn't like the gay. That's what these guys are saying. Why can't you just say that?
And obviously this guy is very religious, and I don't really have a problem with anything he said in this.
Was he promoting violence against gay people?
He was just giving and this is why A&E is so hateable.
Yes.
Because, and this again, this is not but Hitchens pointed this out, and I'm just about how all the hate speech comes from the Bible.
Right.
Or religion.
Right.
So if A&E had 1 ounce of moral fucking balls, why not criticize the Bible? Because that's where everything he said in his mind comes from. I think what he said is stupid, but he's got the right to say it.
He's absolutely got the right.
And everyone's saying that they have the right to fire him. We know they have the legal right to fire him.
But
we know that.
And you're right if you say that. But I'm very uncomfortable with that.
Yes.
That these big TV stations and corporations have no problem firing people for giving a fucking opinion. Yep. You don't even have a chance anymore. We said it years ago. You have the right to be offended in America. Or used to. We don't have the right anymore.
It's scary.
You don't have the right to be offended in America. That should be on a fucking T-shirt.
We look back on like McCarthyism and all that stuff is like ancient. Like, how could people have been so fucking ridiculous? And that's the type of stuff that happens now if you speak out against the wrong group, even if you're wrong.
Yes.
You're crucified. Like you said, you should not. There shouldn't be a penalty for giving an opinion where you're not encouraging violence against people.
Absolutely.
And there's
even
a few
if it's a dumb
things,
opinion.
and it wasn't on the fucking TV show, so it's none of A&E's fucking business. Or it used to be where it wasn't none of your business, but for some reason now everything you do in your life matters. There was a time on radio, we just know that because we're fucking goddamn experts at it.
Yeah,
true.
That as long as you kept it cool when you were at the radio station and on the air, you were all right. But now they're looking at your Facebook, your fucking Twitter, and looking at what you might say in a fucking magazine article, and they will fire you now.
Yeah.
And all these people, I was on Twitter last night. I got home and I couldn't even go to bed. I was so irritated.
Right.
And they keep saying, like, it's not a freedom of speech. It's not about the Constitution. It's about free speech is supposed to mean, hey, we kind of tolerate each other's opinions because that's what it's about. And the advertisers, well, the fact that the advertisers know that they'll suffer if they don't pressure the fucking company is a sign of all of us not being tolerant of speech we don't like.
Yes.
There's no toleration anymore, and that scares the living fucking daylights out of me.
It's not about the Constitution.
No, I know the Constitution doesn't cover this. I know it.
Of free speech and stuff. When you say free speech, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're talking about the Constitution and your right to free speech, because in private enterprise, you're going to have companies that don't want their representatives speaking like that. But that's just the way we should be as Americans. We should be a little more tolerant to what people are saying. It might get you so fucking pissed off that you want to rebut what they're saying, and that's fine. Yeah. Have a little rebuttal.
Fuck yeah.
They had a statement that said, hey, his opinions have no reflection on A&E. And it's like, you know what? You could say that. That's fine.
Sure.
But if his opinions have no reflection on A&E, then why are you firing him?
Right.
You just say, yeah, this guy, he's on a show on our channel, but hey, we don't follow that opinion,
he's him
but that's his.
Yeah, we
Cares?
don't condone what he said.
Right.
Period. And that should be the end of it.
That should be the end of it. To fire him is like, then why even say that you don't have the same opinion?
So the head of the Duck Dynasty clan has been suspended from the popular A&E show after his comments to GQ magazine comparing homosexuality to bestiality sparked outrage in the gay community. Right, I understand where they might be outraged by that, of course.
Outrage.
But why don't gay people understand? No one's looking to Duck Dynasty for our social cues.
There you go.
Right.
Like, this guy's a fucking a duck massacrer.
Right.
I don't care what he thinks about gay people. He doesn't influence me.
It seems like, to me, this is him in GQ, it seems like, to me, a vagina as a man would be more desirable than a man's anus. That's just me, he writes.
Speak for yourself.
But he writes, but he also writes,
Yeah, that's
you
me.
just joked about it, but he did just say, that's just me. Like, I understand this might not be a popular opinion for a lot of people out there.
I think it is for a lot of middle America, though.
You're right.
Right.
And for a lot of the, as hard as it is to believe, a lot of the world feels that way. They just voted down, like, gay rights in it was Chesney or some it was like 65% Christian country, wasn't Chesney, but
You can't force people to be accepting. Maybe in time they will be more accepting. It's Phil Robertson. He said this in the January issue. But hey, sin, it's not logical, my man. It's just not logical. When the reporter asked Robertson what he found sinful, he said, start with homosexual behavior and just morph out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and those men.
see,
He's very religious, this guy.
he finds all that stuff offensive.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's a twat, but he's allowed to say that stuff.
It's allowed.
The network said Wednesday night that Robertson was placed on hiatus from filming indefinitely. We are extremely disappointed to have read Phil Robertson's comments in GQ, which are based on his own personal beliefs and are not reflected in the series, the company said.
Then let him fucking continue. Why? Yeah, you said it doesn't matter. It doesn't reflect our station. Fine. The people are, and the groups, gay groups and whatnot, glad they get all pissed off about it. The way we're supposed to be tolerant of these groups, they have to be tolerant also of people's personal opinions on lifestyle issues.
Right.
It's what it is. Not everybody is going to accept the way you lead your life. And for you to go, it's none of their business. Well, then his opinion's none of your fucking business. If he wants to just put it out there in a magazine, this is how I personally feel. What is wrong with that?
Especially since they wouldn't dare attack the source, and I mean A&E, which is it's religion, it's Islam, it's Catholicism, it's Judaism.
He was quoting the Bible.
They're all anti-gay.
Exactly.
All of them.
They don't like the gay.
So stop fucking defending religion so blindly.
Yep.
Stop defending it and come out and say, hey, the Bible is shitty. Say that if that's how you feel.
They need to get in quite a jam up if they did that.
Yeah.
Fucking no tolerance whatsoever.
No.
And I agree with the people that say now, that the A&E has the right to fire him, of course, but we just think that's a fucking horrible road to do. That's a horrible road to go down.
It sets a precedent.
A horrible road.
Yeah. Just awfulness.
So there you go.
It's like, why would anybody want him fired? Like, I don't agree with what he said. I think it's stupid. I don't want to see the guy fired.
Yeah, for the record, I don't agree with it either, but
isn't that?
But you got to defend these guys.
It's tolerance. It's exactly what they want. It's tolerance.
The one thing I don't understand is people that only defend things that they also agree with. Excuse me.
That's easy to do.
But it's hard to do what we're doing because I don't like what he said. But you have to defend his right to say that.
Yeah.
And
period.
None of these penalties.
Anybody who'd be so offended by that that they wouldn't watch Duck Dynasty, because the only reason you suspend him is so people who would be so offended can still watch Duck Dynasty. They're not going to watch the show now, regardless of whether he's on or not.
I think.
So let them.
I think they just fucked up a really good thing. I think A&E just fucked up a really good thing for themselves. Because I think this is going to backfire on them big fucking time.
Unless
because their fan base is hard fucking core.
Oh yeah, there's no way that the Duck Dynasty loyalists are going to watch anything on that network.
Let's see what they do. Let's see how they push back, because Americans never push back against stuff like that.
No.
If you object to a guy being fired for speech, whether you like what he said or not, then push back.
And you know what? Yeah, Greg. You know what, Greg? You should get the credit. Absolutely.
Give him some credit.
I was probably thinking this.
Yeah. I was thinking it myself, but go ahead, Greg.
That's a good idea.
Greg, you got a great point. Let's go.
It's your big moment in the sun.
I was saying the whole damn cast should just pull the fuck right out of the show, because it's all about the money. And once they lose the money, because none of them want to do it anymore, they'll bring him right back.
You can't. I agree with you, but you can't do it contractually. I guarantee they are within their right to do that, and I guarantee you they will sue the cast and win if the cast pulls out. The cast cannot.
But these guys have a shitload of money, though.
They do.
Maybe you just take the fucking hit.
They do,
and stick up for your brother.
But they may have to finish out the season. The season may already be shot, too.
Yeah. They actually said that this season is totally shot already. Like the season that's coming up.
Isn't that ironic that this season is in the can? I'm just pointing it out.
So this guy's going to be in all the episodes this season.
Maybe not.
They
might re-edit. They might re-edit.
They said they're suspending him from future filming.
Yeah, but people don't understand how that shit works, so they might go, what the fuck? Why is he still on?
Yeah, exactly. They might have to edit him out.
We hate that Gabe Basher. Why is he still on? I bet you they re-edit, dude.
Oh, that'd be...
Let me say hi to Steve in New York City, who agrees with the firing. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, morning, boys.
What's up?
Yeah, listen, I'm an openly gay New York City firefighter, and I couldn't agree with you guys more.
Ooh.
Just the
Post jokes, anyone?
The culture of...
I would.
Not being able to tolerate anything anywhere.
Flaming.
And not being able to take a fucking joke from anyone.
Right.
I couldn't agree with you guys more. Just what's going on in our job in the city, the way, equal employment's come in. And I'm sure you, Anthony, you're familiar with the lawsuit for the hiring practice that the...
They all of a sudden got a bunch of new employees over at the fire department, and it was totally based on race. It's ridiculous.
Pretty much, and not ability.
Not ability.
Why do we do that?
Because people say that why isn't the fire department reflecting the community that they serve? It's like, well, they're reflecting the people that want the job and do it very well. How about that? Instead of, wouldn't you rather have somebody that's good at a job of being a fireman coming into your house and saving you from a fire, putting out a fire, than somebody that's there because they have to fill some quota?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
And it's really hard to be a fireman to begin with.
And it's just the culture of firefighters. They were predominantly, the family. It was a lot of nepotism went on.
It's a family business.
It's a family thing. A lot of
Irish.
A lot of white Irish guys. And, it's just the way it worked out that they made very good firemen.
Right.
This guy doesn't agree with the firing, though, does he?
No, he doesn't agree with the firing.
He doesn't agree with
No, I misread that, to be honest with you. Steve agrees that this guy shouldn't get fired. Right. Yes. So, and what's going on with the firemen, that's completely ridiculous, too, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, are you the guy that sits on top of the fire truck and goes, woo?
Oh, my God.
Hey, how do the
oh, my God.
How do the guys treat you?
It's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's all about ball busting. That's what we do. We bust each other's balls because you never know the next time we're going to go out that door what's going to happen.
That's true.
And also for the new guys, that's how you test them. You see if they can't handle some ball busting, how are you going to handle going into a fire?
Right. Yeah, you guys are a tight fraternity.
Yeah. Are you one of those hunky ones that takes the that has the open jacket in the calendar?
Only for you, Jimmy.
Are you Mr. March? You sound familiar. Thanks, man.
All right, Steve. Thank you, buddy. Let's say hi to Eric in Maryland, who watches Duck Dynasty. I've taken a peek here and there. It's an all right show.
Yeah.
But, I mean, people just fucking love this thing. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, at the end of every show, they sit down to Sunday dinner, and they say a prayer to God. What did the general public in A&E think their view of homosexuality?
Very good.
It was kind of a don't ask, don't tell thing, if you want to put it that way. They probably knew, but they don't want to hear it. That's and which is ridiculous.
And he was...
Go ahead.
Anybody
who understands religion understands that, especially Christianity, they're against homosexuality.
Yeah.
Logical.
And
you can't force acceptance.
No.
You just can't do it.
Nope.
maybe eventually you'll turn some people, and then all right, fight the good fight, and hopefully you'll turn more people.
You can't legislate the opinions. Like I can see you can tell people like by the law, these people can get married and do whatever. Any rights that straight people have, gay people should have. And I think that's very fair. But you can't make people feel a certain way.
Right.
Get out of people's heads. Just allow allow gays to live exactly how they want to live.
Right.
And have every tax break and every fucking marriage. Let them do what they want to do.
That's the reason there are laws, because people aren't accepting of the lifestyle. And, they will try to, not give them what they should be entitled to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's go to Doug in Syracuse. He agrees with the firing. Go ahead,
Hi,
Doug.
Doug.
Hi, guys.
Hey, buddy.
I agree with the firing because I think most people, they want to know that if somebody says or does something they don't like, that there's going to be a consequence for them financially. I'm not saying if it's fair or if it's fun, but that's what most people want now, and that's why I agree with it.
Hold on, do you? Let me ask you, Doug. Do you want? Because I honestly, I don't want that.
No,
the people I hang with don't want this shit. What do you mean most people want this? Most people want to see people's careers destroyed because they give an opinion?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
like saying
I gotta live in a gated community then, because I don't want to fucking hang out with you assholes.
That's the same. That's like saying most people want kids to not celebrate Christmas at school. That's why it's not happening. But you said yourself, like that's not the case.
It's not true.
Small percentage.
It's not true. I see the parents. They roll their eyes. They're like, get a fucking Christmas tree in this classroom. Everyone fucking relax a little bit.
But people don't speak up, because if people, the majority of people spoke up and said this is nonsense, it would stop. But it's just that the smaller groups are louder.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, dude, do you want people fired for saying shit you don't like?
Yeah.
Really?
What?
I want consequences.
But why?
Why? For talking.
Because that's the only thing that people understand is consequences.
But let me ask you a question.
Why should there be consequences for what people say?
Yeah, not for injuring gay people or for advocating violence against them, but I mean, just for not...
We don't have... Because we live in America, so people don't go to jail for saying things. But we can punish them financially.
But why would you? Let me ask you, man. Are you gay?
No.
Okay, let's just say you were gay. But you're for gay rights.
I'm for what? I'm for rights of people.
No, but let me say,
let them do stuff.
Are you for gay marriage?
Yes.
Okay. Now I agree with you, but that opinion in this country is reprehensible by a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are very offended by your opinion. So if you came out and said, "Hey, I'm for gay marriage. I think it's right that people should be able to love each other and get married," so your boss should be able to fire you because you're violating and offending his religious ideology?
Oh.
If that's what he wants to do, he's the boss. He put in an investment to own a business, so he can do that.
Okay,
but do you think that's good?
I don't believe your sincerity, even though I know why you're saying that, because you want to win the argument. I don't believe you feel that way.
I bet you'd be mad if you got fired.
You'd be livid if you got fired for your opinion. You'd be out of your mind.
He would try to sue.
Of course I would be mad, but that is the consequences of the system we put in place.
And we're saying we don't like that system that's being put in place.
And I don't think it was intended to be the consequences.
I don't think you should have consequences.
The only way we can have any kind of change.
No.
What?
It's not true.
It doesn't change people's views to get punished for what they say.
Pisses them off.
Yeah.
No.
What's that?
You guys want to change it back the other way so we can have more Christmas and more anti-gay speech, more of the other way.
That's...
now we're going the other way where it's less of that speech because of these financial punishments.
I agree with people with you can legislate as behaviors as far as the law says you cannot discriminate against people. I don't want anybody...
I don't agree that they should legislate punishment by the law because that is not the place of government.
No, but it is. It's not for speech, dude. I'm saying, like, if people want to get married, for a long time, interracial relationships were illegal. So the government has to step in and say this is an absolutely legal behavior, and you cannot discriminate against people who are of mixed races that are married. So I agree with the law stepping in there. But you can't legislate against people expressing their opinion because people who are for that are offending people, too.
And how are consequences?
I don't believe in legislating anything. I believe private institutions have the right to regulate the actions of their work.
They have the right.
They absolutely
just because
have
have the right doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's not a good thing to put consequence on free and open speech, whether it's somebody's opinion you don't agree with, or How do you think that's a good thing to curtail speech? Because there are these huge consequences based on just your opinion, not inciting a riot, not the old famous fire in a crowded theater thing, but just an opinion where it strikes a nerve. Of course, gay issues and race issues nowadays, very, very sensitive. How is it a good thing to curtail speech?
To be clear, if they want to make speech, let them go out, make a newspaper, make their own newsletter. And
that's ridiculous.
Talking about
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
All right.
In their own workplace and expect no consequence.
That's crazy. So you should just huddle and gather in a locked room with
and lie.
A certain amount of people so you could talk about your shit and conspire and not make sure no one hears it outside because of the consequences. And boy, you really are you really are a true American.
Way to stand tall.
Yeah.
And what if you're hired as a personality on a reality show to be yourself?
Be yourself.
Like we want to pay you money to be yourself.
You're not being hired to be yourself. You're being a character. They are characters.
Mr. Amos
they're themselves. They're themselves. It's called scripted reality. Yeah. They come on board. Believe me. They don't come on and say, we're going to make your show this. They say, we're just going to shoot you guys. And then they kind of nudge them the way you put a mouse in a fucking maze. That's how they guide them to a conclusion every episode.
Yeah.
Well, clearly he went off of his script.
You sound like a communist.
Yeah, I don't agree with what you're saying at all.
I don't either. You should be fired for it.
I appreciate that you don't agree with what I'm saying, but if you want to act like professional people in a professional environment where we don't have hate speech coming...
There you go. There you go. Right, there you go. Thank you.
What's hate
right
speech?
There. Hate speech.
Hate speech.
You have an agenda with what's proper and what's not.
Your opinion.
Because your opinion is such. You can't allow your opinion, or you shouldn't allow your opinion to influence that. Like, literally, what you're saying I find irritating. I don't want you to get in trouble for it.
That's fine, but I appreciate exactly what you guys are saying. But in this environment that we work in, that obviously most people want, because this is the rules that everyone has agreed
to. We disagree with. We think it's a minority that has a lot of power in this country right now.
If it was the minority, they wouldn't be in control.
Not true.
I don't even know if I believe this guy.
I don't know.
No, he's called before on this.
March for people saying I want to say more hurtful things.
But it's not, dude. It's not that. It's not about that. It's not about saying more hurtful things. This is what I mean. The nature of offense is arbitrary because by saying you support gay rights, you are actually offending more people's quote unquote morality than by saying you don't.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about with the Bible and whatnot.
But I mean, come on, dude. It's completely subjective.
Right. Yeah.
Charles wants to get on with Doug.
Okay.
Charles in Texas, you're on with Doug in Syracuse. Go ahead, Charles.
Hello.
Yeah, the guy's logic is flawed on the implication part. If he's saying that there should be implications, then you leave the guy on the air, and the people that he's saying don't want this, they'll stop watching.
Yes.
They'll stop buying all the merchandise.
Yes.
There you go.
Free market.
Free market.
Truly.
That's the penalty.
But it's decided by the people who watch.
Right. Decided by the people that actually enjoy Duck Dynasty. Exactly. Yeah.
This whole thing is based on what the left coast and the right coast want. It's not what middle America's opinion is. It's left coast, it's right coast. Because that's where opinions are generated out.
Now, but you know what, dude? If he was a gay guy and he came out and bashed Catholicism or the Bible, religious people would be calling for him to be fired. So
I don't think he would be, though.
He probably wouldn't
be.
No.
That's exactly right. Ant's exactly right.
Of course I am.
Or tell, I'm sorry. It's hard to tell on the phone who's who. I'm sorry.
That was
me. You're right.
But he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be fired if he was a gay guy who came out against Catholicism.
Yeah.
He would still be on the air. It happens every day.
Mm-hmm.
It happens on TV every day,
Yes,
and nobody
it does.
says a goddamn thing.
Right.
But because this guy said, and he said something so vanilla, so generic, that they took him off there. It's stupid. He'll be back on the air by November or by January.
There's a glad spokesperson.
Hold on, I want to hear what this guy's saying. Thanks, Charles, and thanks, Doug. I'm going to move on.
This statement
That's
after
Ricky
the
from My
article was
So-Called Life.
released,
Is it?
saying
Yeah.
I would never treat anyone with disrespect just because they are different from me. We are all created by the Almighty, and like Him, I love all of humanity.
Oh, boy.
We would all be better off if we loved God and loved each other.
And not only did he make anti-gay comments, he also said in the article that while growing up in the Jim Crow South, he, quote, never saw black people mistreated, and that he worked cotton fields with blacks and said, quote, they're singing and happy. I never heard one black person say, I tell you what, those doggone white people, not a word. They were they happy? They were godly. They were happy. No one was singing the blues. There's a lot to react to here.
No, there's not. There's really not.
So what do you got?
Well, first of all, I would say the anti-gay comments are way out of bounds. Even though there are a lot of people who are arguing, and I saw it on Twitter last night, a lot of people reacting that it's his freedom of speech. He can believe what he wants to believe, which is true, but that doesn't mean it's free from consequences.
Always
And you say these things when you're a public figure.
And you'll also hear that he is not alone. I'm not supporting the comments, but he's not
what
alone.
a coward!
There is
What a
a segment of
coward!
the population who agrees with exactly what Phil's saying.
They are eggshelling
there is
this
a segment of
fucking
that population, and then also to speak to the
fucking segment.
comments about
Well, that's why
the pre-civil
everyone's
rights
scared to
era. I'm
talk
not trying to
openly.
speak what's in his
You
head.
just heard it for yourself.
When you see these comments, this is exactly the type of warped logic that white racists used back in the day to justify their actions for oppression of black people. Well, they're singing, they're happy. I'm not hearing anybody complain. Those black folks are happy folks.
He was
They're
working
not saying anything.
there.
So those are troubling. All of
More
this,
so than
I
her.
believe, is troubling.
I'm sure she does.
Interesting how quickly A&E moved.
Yeah, well, we saw with Paula Dean
can they
how
move
things
this
went
big
with
bitch
her
to the
and-
back
and
of the
time
set?
it took for that to sort of
Holy
right itself
fuck.
as it has.
Let's see if
It'll be
any of them
interesting
stick
to
up
see
for
how
his
this
right.
plays out and
They're not.
And they have a
They're too
$400
scared.
million empire. Let's remember that
Huge
here.
empire.
Big deal with Walmart. So what's going to happen with that?
Nothing.
Are they going to back off from them? So there's a lot in play here still.
Yep.
On the basis of what we know, the statements that are out there, Paula Dean pales in comparison
Oh,
to his.
fuck, you're
Another
God.
fucking
You're weak, Chris
speech
Cuomo.
policing
That's the
coward.
goal.
You're weak.
Fucking
You are
So
so
But
weak.
CNN is not
GQ
slanted.
did a really
No.
good job of
What a
pointing out
weak
those
man you are, Chris
Fucking
Cuomo.
weakling.
if we should put it that way, in the piece.
Oh,
about what
you're
he was saying,
weak.
what he's preaching,
Why are we frustrated
and,
every time? It's like,
And I
why does
grew
it
up in
surprise us
one
every
know.
thing called
every
Christian
time it gets
household,
us?
and I never heard these
You have a little bit of
things.
hope that
My
maybe
Christian household
I
was.
just
Great point.
have a. I
Christian
just
household.
don't see
coming
it
up
at
next,
all the other
Dude.
way.
Santa's
So what's
celebrating
wrong
his
with us?
millionaire,
And these are
multi-millionaire. We're gonna tell
broadcasters.
you
These
how
are
to make
people
$1
that
Oh,
Talk
they're
for a living.
weak.
the First Amendment is so important to the press, but they will sit there and just say, well, there's consequences.
they're fucking
How about your
weak.
consequences of reporting certain things? And
Right.
Like the shooters' manifestos and stuff.
Right.
How about there should be consequences for that?
How about the blood and guts they show?
Right, that.
I find that way more disturbing than speech.
Or a tit on the screen,
Well, that I don't have a problem with.
I don't either. I'm saying like they'll
The
put,
blood and guts, though,
they'll put
and
death and
that-
destruction on there, but they'll apologize if a tit goes
Right,
down.
right.
Or some rap lyrics or something.
This fucking country is fucking sick.
It's
babies.
It's backwards.
It's sick.
Crazy.
Let me say hi to Maurice right here in New York
he's gotta
City.
be gay,
I'm a
right?
manager for a city corporation. Hold on, I'm giving you the big setup here.
Hi, Maurice.
I'm a manager for a city corporation. We did a seminar on this topic last night. I can contribute. Go ahead, Maurice.
All right.
Hey, what's up, guys? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Wank, wank.
You guys for years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, quack,
Thank you
quack.
so much.
I've been listening to what you're saying. I agree with you guys 100%. My ideology on this topic is if I want to push to have the rights taken away from those with whom I disagree, how long will it be before my rights are taken away?
Exactly. And that's what people don't understand.
Yeah, they'll come for
They
you
think
eventually.
everybody agrees with them.
Right.
And their
Right.
point is what everyone's point is. And, these people we just saw on the news, don't they understand that they say things that offend people?
Of course.
Why should they then have a job?
Right.
Years
It's crazy.
ago, if you spoke against religion at all and you spoke up for gay people, you suffered penalties.
Yeah.
And now it's just come back the other way. Anybody saying it's just the whole country has always been. We say it every time. It's a fucking. You either believe in people's right to say what they feel, or you don't.
Or you don't. Yeah, there's no middle ground of, well, I could agree with that, but, I'm offended by that, so he shouldn't be able to say it, or there should be consequences. No, there shouldn't be.
You shouldn't want people, even if you're gay, you shouldn't want people to get, anybody who's thinks what this guy said is stupid.
Yeah, you keep them on the air, and then you see if the audience for that show is willing to accept it.
And it's because you're fighting for the same fucking thing. People are offended. Some people are offended, a lot of people, by a gay lifestyle. You offend them. So you're trying to get tolerance and live a life as a gay person. And the other side, they're trying to put their opinion out there, and they want tolerance for their own opinion. If you don't like a gay lifestyle, it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand that you want to hurt them or kill them or have a riot or fucking anything.
Exactly. Well, this is
but it's labeled hate speech.
This is one of the reasons why I very rarely get into conversations, even with friends, on topics that are as volatile as religion or politics.
Yes.
Because most people are so thin-skinned that they can't accept the fact that someone else's opinion differs from theirs.
Right.
You know, I don't have to agree with you, but I do respect your right to disagree with me. I don't have a problem with that.
Most people say that, but they sure don't believe it.
And I would love to see. I would love to see the numbers. You got this Duck Dynasty, which is huge in the middle of the country and certainly in the South. I would love to know the percentage of the viewers that agree with Phil Robertson.
Right.
You might. It would blow your mind. I bet you.
It's a lot.
I bet you it's more than 50-50.
Oh yeah.
In his favor, as far as the viewers of that show.
Yep.
Thank you, Maurice.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you.
All right, brother. Eventually, this is Eric from Colorado. I believe he's a regular, too. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys. Hey, kind of going along with the previous caller, political correctness is a vicious circle, and eventually the politically correct will eat themselves when they run out of target.
Well, you saw it with Alec, even though Alec Baldwin's not a PC guy, but he does share the ideology of the left, and you saw what happened to him and to Martin Bashir.
Right.
Both a couple of guys who, again, maybe not PC, but are on that side of the fence. So they already eat themselves.
And MSNBC has a new slogan, which me and Ant were laughing at this morning. What was it again?
Oh, no.
They fired 2 guys, and their new slogan is what? Do you remember exactly what it was?
Speak out.
Speak out. It's right on their website.
They're literally saying, yes, speak out.
Right.
It's like, no, yes, you speak out and you get fired.
Right. You don't even let your own guys speak out.
No.
What are you talking about?
Speak out. That's dangerous.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
We're going to go eat now, if that's okay with everybody. Is that all right?
Very offensive.
Yeah. We got CNN fucking up real bad.
Oh, yeah?
Real bad.
Oh, good.
I love fucking beating up the media. It's one of my favorite things we do on this radio show. I love it. I fucking can't get enough of it. CNN fucked up bad.
They did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
I'll just keep it at
Love
that.
it.
Hopefully we'll keep these fuckers listening a little longer. We'll be back.
The Opie and Anthony Show continues in moments. All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.